you doing out there, friends? Thank you so much for joining me this Friday night. Finn was just here a second ago, and she's down here right now. Finn, come on. So my entire desk, everything here at the Ryan Files is gone. I have a chair. I have a stool that my computer's on. And this is my Christmas tree box. So let's see. Hello, Jill and Julie, John. Work my fingers to the bone, tuning guitars all week. So John is the devil at the crossroads, apparently. That's awesome. John, did you like the episode of the Ryan Files? God, that's funny. Yeah, so anyways, I'm in the process of, like I said, redoing the studio to what it needs to be. You just don't know what it needs to be until you figure out what it needs to be. And I have. And so I'm in the process of building a new desk. Now, here's a funny story. I had to get rid of the desk that was in here. It was massive. Massive desk. I didn't know how massive it was. I had some help bringing it downstairs several years ago when I first built it. And Finn, come here. Come on up here. Finn wants to join us so bad, and as soon as we get this out of the way, everything will be fine. Because I'm talking, she has to be around, so I'm afraid that she's going to jump up on the computer. That's my concern. So anyway, and I thought, okay, yeah, I can get it out of here on my own. My studio is in the basement. I call it the basement bunker for a reason. And and you got to understand, like, you go up like 3 stairs, there's like a landing, and then another full set of stairs up to the next floor. And that's how I got my desk downstairs. Very because of how big it was. It was in the shape of a Superman symbol. And I'll provide some pictures at some point for this. But anyways, I got the desk. I took the wheels off of it, and I got it around the corner and almost up the steps. And I was like, okay, all you got to do is push it up the steps. Man, I could not. And I thought, okay, I can get some straps and I can pull it up. No, I couldn't. And so I had to bring it all the way back to here. And come on, Finn. Come on. Hold on one second. Come here. Come here. There you go. All right. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. Isn't that what you want? Yeah. That's what she wants. So, yeah, I had to bring it back to here and bring in not just a skill saw, but another saw, a couple different saws. I just saw it into 3 pieces to get it out of here. And, I loaded it up on the truck and I took it to the dump, and wouldn't you know, they weigh your truck on the way into and out of the dump, and it was like 350 pounds. Ben, don't you want to be seen? Here, come here. Come here. Oh, there you go. All right. So, yeah, that's what happened. But it's out now. So now in the garage is this massive desk that I'm actually building in 3 pieces because it'll be easier for me to carry up and down the stairs and all that. But it's going to be awesome. A little bit of a steampunk feel to it. And I was going to bring down one of the sections, but I was like, no, it's out in the garage. The problem is there's some painting I got to do, and we're going through a cold spell right now. Everyone was mentioning winter. Man, it's like tonight's going to be in the 30s, and that's not good for painting. So anyway, just dealing with it, and everything's good though. So let's look at some comments. Sarah, hey. Heather, Heatherly B, hello. Ann, how you doing? Good to see you. Ooh, Penn's Peak is coming up soon. Yeah, it's like, man, it's like a week and a half, I think. Yeah, a week and a half, something to do like that. So I can't wait to get to Pennsylvania. I really can't. I'm really excited about it. It's awesome being able to be in Branson and like people come to see you. That's awesome. But man, it is really cool to be able to get out and, just get back to where people are, get back to where you live. I did agree to an event in July. I'll get to it later on, but I'll be in Pennsylvania in the summer. Who knows, maybe more often than not. Definitely in July, I'll be in Pennsylvania. I'm working on possibly being down in Louisiana. I'd love to be able to be back, maybe in Wisconsin. We'll see. So just reaching out to people now. But July and August, I will not be at Legends Concert in Branson because they are bringing in an 80s show. So that is what it is. Let's see here. You got 3 inches of snow in Michigan. How you doing, Brenda? I can't wait to get back, Heather. Not trying to darken the mood here, but I would ask for everyone, please continue to pray. Because here in the western North Carolina, we got news on Wednesday of an 18-month-old passing away from frigid temperatures. Oh, man. That's terrible. Living in tents is really hard. Yeah, folks, if you don't mind, man, we're talking about Thanksgiving, and I get it, and there's so much to be thankful for. But we also have to remember, but maybe a month ago with the episode, and 2 months ago-ish when all this went down with Colleen and Carolinas, man. Yeah. Just keep them in prayers. Keep them in prayers. And there's some stuff that's come out since then. Of course, there was a individual, we won't get into it too much, who was with FEMA, who literally was saying, hey, and, they got let go, but, don't give aid to people with conservative whatever signs in your yard. I don't care if you had conservative signs or liberal signs or whatever, Black Lives Matter signs. I really don't care. That's uncool. And that's our federal government. And the more it's highlighted, people should just wake up and understand that's the reality of the situation. It's unfortunate. It's not fair. But people dying, 18-month-old children dying from living in a tent when it's cold. Anyway. Julie, I'll bring DVDs to you. You're here on Saturday. I believe it is, right? Saturday. You're going to be... is that right? Forgive me, I've got a lot on my plate. May God continue to surround them. Yeah, absolutely. Prayers, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, and do it right now. Do it in your mind right now. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I was just talking to Amy. It's like, I can't believe Thanksgiving is already here. Man, everything goes so fast. And boom, it's like Thanksgiving, and then the following week is Penn's Peak. Yeah, shush, crazy. Little bit of information. man, I'm really struggling with exactly how to frame this next episode. It's it's about aliens. Aliens. You know what? The bottom line is UFOs are real. There's been billions of dollars spent to make you believe that's not true, and if you believe that they're real, you're a kook. Billions of dollars and black budget programs and manipulation of the media and people's lives literally destroyed because of that disinformation campaign. It's been going on forever. But with, and here's the thing, like I say, there's no doubt now. Honestly, there's been no doubt for a long time. It's just that if you looked into any of this or you paid any attention to it, you would get labeled, blacklisted, and in many ways, I mean, there was times in the past where you would not be able to get promoted if you talked about this stuff or whatnot. So we've got a situation today, especially in light of the most recent UFO congressional hearings, which nothing major happened other than just kind of like put a stamp on it. Other than just like, yeah, all that stuff that happened with David Fravor and Grush and all that, yeah, it's real. People that were in the programs that was trying to shut stuff down saying, yeah, you know what, yeah, it's real. And then just last week, I was able to, or this week, I guess, Monday, I went and seen Luis Elizondo. If you recall, he's the one who said in a past episode that one of his bosses, he was in charge of ATIP, by the way, but he said that one of his superiors told him, yeah, they're demonic. Be careful. But anyways, this guy was in charge of ATIP, which is basically the government's program to watch over all this stuff. And there's other programs now, but he is the guy that got the FLIR Go Fast videos, those 3 videos that you've seen of UFOs. He's the guy that got them unclassified. So, yeah, he is. I went and seen him on Monday. Very interesting, some of the stuff he said, and that'll be coming out in this episode. I mean, I wrote this amazing episode, and I realized, you know what? That's not the point I want to make. I'm done trying to convince people that UFOs are real, because if you're not going to see the overwhelming amount of truth that's out there, then that's kind of on you, and you've just kind of drank the Kool-Aid. Paraphrasing the movie Signs, swing away, Ryan. Yeah. It's overwhelming. And of course, then next thing is obviously if they're real, if UFOs, UAP, if you will, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Don't get me started. Anyways, if UAP are real, then you've got to ask, who's the pilots? And I find it interesting that a lot of people who are like, well, I don't know if I believe in UFOs, but if there are UFOs, it's obviously not aliens. The government, it's black projects, and that's fine. I believe that there's probably these kind of vehicles that have been reverse engineered. We go back to the 40s, Foo Fighters in World War II and 1947, the Roswell crash. There's a lot of data out there, in the heyday of this stuff in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s of research that in UFOlogy, that, man, there's so much truth, but all of that stuff got stamped down so hard because the government was in control, and not everyone had a cell phone and looking up in the sky, and then boom, there's a UFO or an orb or whatever. And things have changed. And Timothy Alberino said something really cool that was like, it was like, bing, nail, head, hammer, boom. And he said the government can no longer control the phenomenon because there's such an uptick and increase in this activity and sightings worldwide. They can't control the phenomenon. So all they can control is the narrative. And that's absolutely the truth. And their narrative has had to change, obviously, because they released the Go Fast Gimbal and FLIR videos, even though they were terrible quality. Elizondo said, we've got a ton of 8K footage of this stuff, clear, pristine video showing remarkable stuff. Folks, it's real. They're real. And that's a thing, that's kind of like the point of what is going to happen in this upcoming episode. If you can't get your head wrapped around it, I'll try, but I'm not going to sit and beat a dead horse when it comes to this, because if you're going to be so obtuse as to not accept that just the craft themselves are real, I don't care what you think about the pilots. We don't have to get into that because it's speculation. We don't know. But if you're denying the fact that UFO are not real, don't exist, made up, they're not reaching speeds of plus Mach 5. They're not transmedium vehicles that are going through water, air, space, all with no problems at these great speeds. And maneuvering in ways that no other human craft can do, and that a human body could not survive the G-forces from. If you're saying that's what you believe, then you drank the Kool-Aid. That's all I can say. I feel sorry for you. But for those of you who have the cognizant mind to observe and evaluate, you know that they're real. It doesn't matter if you don't know what they are, because none of us really do. It doesn't matter if you don't know who the pilots are, because none of us really do. But the safe answer for everyone is to say, well, it's got to be U.S. black budget programs. And I want you to think about this, and this is part of what I'll be bringing up, but I want you to think about this. Let's assume you're right. Let's assume that all UFOs in history were from government black budget programs. Number one, that does not in any way, shape, or form explain things that were happening in, the 1600s. The historical record all the way back to, ancient Egypt. All the historical stuff, like prior to, let's just say prior to 1940, okay, World War II, prior to World War II. None of that can be explained by governments. All right, especially the further back you go in antiquity. So, all right, well, let's just put that to the side. We don't want to deal with that. Okay, we weren't there. We didn't see it. It wasn't documented. Okay, no problem. So let's say in 1940. In 1940, it wasn't Russia or China. We know that. Russia and China are much different countries today than they were in 1940. Germany, well, yeah. United States, well, yeah. Okay. So it has to be Germany or the United States back then. Okay. So you're telling me that back in 1940, we had the ability, basically, anti-gravity is not the right word technically. But basically, we had the ability for a space-time bubble to be created around a craft that it would allow it to exemplify properties of anti-gravity, all these things to beat inertia, to do all the speeds of transmedium, water, air, space, whatever, all these things. We had that technology in the 1940s. All right. That's a big leap. That's a big leap. That's probably a bigger leap to believe than it being something else. But okay, let's say you're right. Let's say you're right. Two questions you have to answer if that's what you believe. And those two questions are, number one, why, since the 1940s, 85 years ago, why has none of this technology come into place in our everyday lives 85 years ago? We're talking. Because the science behind it, and there's these things called DIRDs, DIRDS. I'll get you what the name is, Defense Department, whatever. They have like 38 things that are listed as like technologies that could come from craft having this space-time bubble around them. 38 things that we want to have, technology we want to have, and we know it has to exist in order for these crafts to do all these things. So if you're saying that we have that, well then, why have none of those come into play in our everyday lives? And I mean, I'm talking about things like, massive amounts of energy for free, energy from the air, free. All these things. You have to answer the question then, okay, is our government playing us for a fool and keeping us suppressed and not sharing any of this technology with us to make our lives better? You have to ask that question. But the biggest question you have to ask, and the one that is toughest to ask, and the one that will always be ignored and might also be the biggest one to ask, is that also in connection with this phenomenon is the phenomenon of abductions, alien abductions. The two go hand in hand, and there's so much evidence to support that these abductions are real. Because just if one alien abduction is real, then you have to really start looking at all the cases, and there is a multitude, an unbelievable amount of cases, disappearances, injuries, hurts, and so on and so forth that have happened over the years. That is very equivalent to, at times, with SRA. If you don't know what that is, look it up on your own. Just leave it there. And we need to say, like, okay, if the government is the ones controlling these crafts, then they are abducting people, sometimes killing them. They're mutilating animals. They're doing research. There's all kinds of evil going on there that you have to account for. Bottom line, you have to account for it. So if you're willing to say that this is all black budget human technology stuff, you got to answer those questions. Those are tough questions to answer. If you don't believe it is human, then you're looking at a whole, I mean, just stop for a second. What, we're talking about something that we don't know, controlling craft, far advanced technology that are abducting and hurting humans worldwide, and our governments are hiding it from us. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I mean, I think outside of Jesus Christ, that's about the biggest story in the history of Earth, and we're all not paying attention to it or asking the questions, or instead we're on our cell phones playing casino games, or, interested in what housewives are doing in rich families that are doing reality TV or whatever. It's mind-boggling to me that this is where we are. So, anyways, that's what's coming up. Not passionate about it at all, as you can tell. Not at all. Finn has left me high and dry. I thought she was going to stay up here the whole time. You remember the episode for the year 2 episode just a few weeks ago, and Finn opened it. This was the Christmas tree box with a black towel over it, and this is what she stood on for that, and she loves it so much, I just left it out here because I know we're going to get the tree up soon. So, anyways, let's see here. Margaret, how you doing? You're watching from Florida at Epcot. Anyways. A lot of people saw I'm assuming that's Ryan File's shirt today. That's awesome. I do for the first filer to capture a live alien gets a free secret agent membership. We already got you, John. John, yes. But if you got any footage, man, send it. I've got from a number of people, orbs and stuff like that. Just weird stuff, man. And yeah, we'll get into it. Might get into those 38 topics, the DERDs that I was talking about. That could be an interesting topic. But I do have some really cool things. There's a town. I'm not going to tell you who, what, where, when, how, or why, but there is a ghost town that some of my friends are going to go check out and explore. And it was destroyed in 1911 by a tornado, but there's still remnants. And we're just going to go do a little hike, archaeological find on that. There's an author of some very interesting books that I will be interviewing on December 11th, episode the week to follow. So there's some really cool things on tap, and I do want to get to the prepper episode that we talked about when we talked about Hurricane Helene, and I want to reach out to my brother-in-law Randy, who was very helpful with his family during that whole time, and and just as Lori mentioned in the comments, it's important to be prepared. You just don't know. I mean, who in the mountains of Tennessee and the Carolinas was thinking we got to be ready for a hurricane? Hundreds and hundreds of miles from the ocean. Yeah, this is a world we live in, and it helps to be prepared. So, let's see here. Tell us about acting role. Oh yes, the acting role. Okay. Ghost Town, super cool. Yeah. Finally on having technical difficulties. Sorry, Sheila. Always hit refresh in your browser or your phone. Always hit refresh. Bring along your recorder. I will, Fred. I will. I know where you're going with that. There's gravestones there. That tornado killed 9 people, I believe, and it wasn't a big town. 9 people. Tornado destroyed it, and 7 of them were children. Oh, that was my phone. Yeah, so the acting role. Man, they reached out to me, and I got the script, and there are things. That was Brett Marcel Lacasse. If you remember that episode with him, he's a pilot now, and he sends pictures all the time. He's like just flying around the world. What an awesome job. There's acting roles that you could probably get but do you really want them? And there's certain things about Hollywood. I don't know that I'll ever get out in the open about that too much. Maybe sometime whenever, I don't know, maybe just like a behind the scenes thing. I don't know. But yeah, there's some things about Hollywood that I just am uncomfortable with anyways. But this was for a television show, pretty well known television show. I would have been Elvis. I would have been performing a wedding. Not necessarily so much of a cheesy role. At least it was kind of a straight thing, but maybe just not what I want to do. And yep, it was SAG, and it could have made me, money and whatnot, but I just don't know that that's what I want to do. Like, I don't know that every little thing is what you should be doing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't feel comfortable with it. And I don't like to make the Elvis thing have a negative connotation. I try to stay away from that, and I'll probably never ever get any recognition for that, but I really try not to do that. And there are moments where, in some of these roles, where they're asking you to basically play a caricature with all the negative connotations and whatnot. I just don't want to put myself in that position. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's it. Come on, Finn. What are you doing, Finn? Come here. You want to say goodbye to Pete? Hold on. Come here. She doesn't like to jump up here. She likes me to pick her up. And that's funny, if you ask me, too. She likes to be picked up. Come here. This is what we do all the time. She jumps up to get petted. Like that. Don't you, Finn? Don't you? Don't you? Are you being awesome? Huh? She's being awesome. Well, anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in this week. And tune in. And I think it's important, man, because I don't know, man, I'm not like a prophetic or anything, but man, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And if you start taking a look at it, it's like, whoa. Meanwhile, a lot of that pulls us away from some of these obvious things, like UFOs are real. And like I said, outside of Jesus Christ, basically the biggest thing, that's happened on Earth. I mean, think about that. So it's an important episode. And, if you know someone if you yourself are not sure what you think, hop on, check it out. I'm not going to sit and ridicule you if you don't believe that UFOs are real, but I'm going to say I don't believe that you're necessarily open to reality either. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Marriage official. I see you more. I'd love to be in a detective role. That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Indiana Jones, maybe. Finn girl, what are you doing? Come here. Do you hear the little meows? Do you hear those little meows? My cat has a crush on Finn. All right. Tell her to say again. Oh, she's awesome. All right. Well, that's about it. I appreciate you guys so much. We got some really cool things coming. Can't wait to get to Penn's Peak. And as I said earlier, if you guys have any connections with anything for July, August of next year, let me know. Love to get out and around. I'm hopefully looking forward to getting some good gigs, doing some stuff, and then also being able to travel to some places to do some research on some episodes for the Ryan Files. So it'll be a cool 2-month period, which I'm just really excited about. And that's unexpected blessing from God. That's what I say. So time to do some awesome gigs, but also a chance to get out and maybe do some awesome research or get to an area near you instead of you having to come to Branson. So that's it for now. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go out and work in the garage in 30-degree weather and try to get a desk. Maybe we'll have part of it done by next week. So that's it for now, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And just be amazing and stay curious. You guys rock. Cheers.